Hey Deep Divers, welcome back. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Today, we're diving into a story that's absolutely sending shockwaves through the political landscape. We're talking about John Kelly, the former White House Chief of Staff, and his absolutely explosive claims about Donald Trump.
It's wild, right? This Daily Beast article dropped just days before the election, and it's titled, "Who is John Kelly, the General, calling Trump a Hitler-praising fascist?" Talk about dropping a bombshell.
You got that right. So for those of you who might not have all background, let's rewind for a second. Who is this John Kelly guy, and why should we care what he has to say?
Okay, buckle up, because this guy's resume is seriously impressive. We're talking decorated Marine general, rose through the ranks to become a four-star general, the whole 9 yards. This isn't some armchair critic. Kelly's got serious experience in leadership and knows a thing or two about well wars.
Wow, so this isn't just some random guy with an opinion. This is a guy who's been in the trenches both literally and figuratively. But how did he go from leading troops to working for Trump?
So in 2017, Trump appoints Kelly as Secretary of Homeland Security. Apparently, Trump saw something in Kelly initially praising him as a great American and a great leader, which, knowing Trump, is high praise.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. But wait, didn't Kelly also become Trump's chief of staff?
You're right. Just 6 months after taking on Homeland Security, Kelly gets promoted to White House Chief of Staff. So here you have this highly respected military leader, someone who understands discipline and strategy, suddenly thrust into the chaotic world of Trump's White House.
Okay, that's where it gets really interesting, because we know things didn't exactly stay rosy between these two for long. What happened?
Well, let's just say the honeymoon phase was definitely over. Rumors started swirling about serious tension between them, with reports of Kelly calling Trump an idiot communication breakdowns, the whole drama.
Sounds like a reality TV show waiting to happen. But seriously, how bad did it get?
Bad enough that by December 2018, Kelly is out as chief of staff.
So much for great American and great leader. What happened next? Did Kelly just fade into the background?
Not exactly. He started dropping little hints here and there, criticizing some of Trump's decisions, but nothing too major. It was like he was waiting for the right moment to really unleash.
And boy, did he pick a moment. This Daily Beast article doesn't pull any punches. It goes straight for the jugular with the whole Hitler-praising fascist thing.
Yeah, that's not exactly subtle. But before we get into the explosive allegations, let's rewind a bit and talk about why John Kelly's perspective is so important.
Great point. I mean, we need to understand where he's coming from to grasp the weight of his accusations, right?
Exactly. Remember, this is a man who dedicated his life to serving his country, someone who understands the true cost of war firsthand. He tragically lost his son in Afghanistan. This isn't just some political game for him. This is personal.
Okay, that adds a whole new layer to this story. We're not just talking about political rivals trading barbs. We're talking about a deep personal betrayal.
You got it. And to understand the depth of that betrayal, we need to delve into a really powerful quote from Kelly. He once said that thanking troops for their service isn't enough. You have to support the cause they're fighting for the country.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. So this isn't just about Kelly's personal feelings. It's about his belief in what America stands for, what our military fights for.
Exactly. And that brings us to why his break with Trump is so significant. It's not just a disagreement over policy or politics. It's a fundamental clash of values, a sense that Trump has betrayed the very principles Kelly dedicated his life to upholding.
Man, the plot thickens.
Yeah.
So how did this clash of values start to play out? What were some of the early signs that the relationship was souring?
Well, one of the first public signs of a crack in their relationship was Kelly's support for invoking the 25th Amendment after the January 6th insurrection.
Hold on. For those of us who aren't constitutional scholars, can you explain what the 25th Amendment is and why it's relevant here?
Sure thing. The 25th Amendment basically provides a way to remove a president from office if they are deemed unfit to serve either physically or mentally. It's a pretty big deal, and Kelly's support for it was a huge signal that he no longer trusted Trump's judgment or stability.
Whoa, so this wasn't just a policy disagreement. This was a serious concern about Trump's ability to lead.
Exactly. And remember, this is coming from someone who worked closely with Trump, who saw his behavior up close and personal.
Okay, so we've got this simmering tension, this clash of values, and then Kelly starts publicly questioning Trump's fitness for office. What happened next? Did things just escalate from there?
Absolutely. In fact, Kelly went even further, confirming those stories about Trump making disparaging remarks about fallen soldiers.
Well, you mean those stories about Trump calling fallen soldiers losers and suckers?
The very same Kelly confirmed those reports, which, as you can imagine, infuriated Trump.
I bet, but this is where it gets even more interesting. Because Kelly didn't just confirm those stories, He went on to make some truly shocking claims about Trump's admiration for
Yeah.
Hitler.
Yeah, that's where the Hitler praising fascist part of the article comes in. And trust me, it's even more wild than it sounds. So get this. Kelly claims that on multiple occasions, Trump actually said that Hitler had done some good things. I mean, can you even imagine?
Let me pick my jaw up off the floor.
Yeah,
Seriously, that's
yeah.
just, wow. But wait, it gets even crazier. Tell us about the story with the German generals.
Oh, yeah. This is where things get really chilling. Apparently, Trump once asked Kelly, why can't you be more like the German generals?
Okay, that's a weird question on its own, but I'm guessing it didn't end there.
Nope, not even close.
Okay.
So Kelly, trying to understand what Trump meant, asked him, which German generals? Bismarck, the Kaiser's generals. And Trump's alleged response, yeah, Hitler's generals.
Whoa. Okay, chills officially running down my spine.
Ah.
This is seriously disturbing stuff, even for Trump.
Right. And remember, this isn't just hearsay or gossip. This is coming from someone who was in the room, someone who had to process this insane exchange firsthand.
And it gets even more mind-blowing when you consider the context. Kelly, a guy who spent his life studying military strategy, who knows the horrors of World War II, having to listen to Trump, the president of the United States, seemingly praise Hitler's generals.
It's almost too much to comprehend. And it raises so many questions like, what was going on in Trump's head? What did he find so appealing about these notorious figures from history?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Hitler's generals were known for their ethical leadership or respect for human rights.
Exactly. They were instruments of a brutal genocidal regime.
Yeah.
So for Trump to express even a hint of admiration for them, it's deeply troubling, to say the least.
Okay, so we've got these explosive claims from Kelly, this deeply unsettling picture of Trump's worldview. But what does it all mean? What are the implications, especially with the election just days away?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, it's impossible to predict how these revelations will affect voters.
But surely this has to have some impact, right? And this isn't just some policy disagreement. This strikes at the very core of who Trump is as a person, as a leader.
You're absolutely right. This goes way beyond politics. It touches on something fundamental about our values as a nation, about the kind of leadership we want to see in the world.
And it raises a really uncomfortable question. If someone like John Kelly, a man who served alongside Trump, who witnessed his behavior firsthand, believes he is capable of admiring Hitler, what does that say about Trump's character?
It's a chilling thought, and it's one that I think every voter needs to grapple with as they head to the polls.
So beyond the immediate impact on the election, what are the broader implications of Kelly's claims? What does this tell us about the state of American politics?
Well, on one level, it's a stark reminder of how divided we are as a nation. Trump still has a huge following, people who will likely dismiss Kelly's accusations as fake news or just political maneuvering.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine anything swaying those who are already firmly in Trump's camp. But what about those who are still on the fence, those who maybe had some doubts about Trump but were willing to give him the benefit of the doubt?
I think for those voters, Kelly's words could be a game changer. This isn't some political pundit or partisan attack. This is coming from someone who is literally in the room, someone who has nothing to gain by speaking out, and in fact is risking a lot by doing so.
It takes a lot of courage to go up against someone like Trump, especially when you've been a part of his inner circle.
Absolutely. And I think Kelly's willingness to speak truth to power, even at great personal risk, is something we should all admire.
So what does this all mean for the future of American politics? Are we heading down a dangerous path towards authoritarianism like some fear?
That's a tough question to answer, but I think Kelly's statements serve as a powerful warning. They remind us of the fragility of democracy, of the importance of vigilance and accountability.
It's a wake-up call for all of us, regardless of our political affiliation, to pay attention, to think critically, and to defend the principles that underpin our system of government.
And to remember that history has shown us time and again that seemingly unthinkable things can happen when we let our guard down, when we allow demagoguery and fear to erode the foundations of our democracy.
It's a sobering thought. And it brings us back to the central question of this deep dive. Who is John Kelly?
He's a man who has served his country with honor, who has experienced both the triumphs and the tragedies of war. And now he's a man risking his reputation, his legacy, to speak truth to power, even if that power is someone he once served and supported.
It's an act of conscience, a call to remember what true leadership and patriotism look like. It's a story that transcends politics and taps into those core values we hold dear as Americans.
Absolutely. Whether you agree with Kelly's assessment of Trump or not, you have to acknowledge the weight of his words, especially coming from someone with his background.
So where does this leave us? What's the takeaway for our listeners after this deep dive into John Kelly's explosive claims?
I think it forces us to confront some really tough questions about the nature of power, the dangers of unchecked ambition, and the choices we make as individuals and as a nation.
It's a reminder that sometimes the people we think we know, the ones we trust to lead, can surprise us, even shock us with their actions and beliefs.
And it challenges us to be critical thinkers, to question our assumptions, to hold our leaders accountable regardless of their political affiliation.
So as we head into this election, I think the most important question we can ask ourselves is this: how do these revelations change our view of John Kelly and Donald Trump?
Do they make us reevaluate our previous judgments, our loyalties, our understanding of who these men really are? And ultimately, what does this tell us about the state of American politics, the choices we face, and the future we are creating for ourselves and for generations to come?
Whoa, that's a lot to think about. But hey, that's what we do here on The Deep Dive. We go beyond the headlines, unpack the complexities, and challenge ourselves and you guys to think critically about the issues that matter most.
Exactly. And remember, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on John Kelly's accusations? How do they impact your view of Trump? Hit that comment section below and let's have a conversation. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world.
Until next time, Deep Divers, stay curious.